am Wario. I just watched the first episode of Konosuba. After 7 years? I don't know, since it first came out. This is my review. After years, I've returned to this YouTube channel as its new owner, Wario.
Yep, yeah, I don't know. Just to start this video off, cold opening, as they call it in the business, the industry. I hate isekai. I've always hated isekai. Just the concept of it upsets me. We've really, in this year of our Lord, 2021, we've really, there are constant isekai every season, which I don't watch. I don't really watch seasonal anime, but constant isekai, slime isekai, Archduchess Otome isekai. Oh, this is okay. Actually, that reminds me, this is going to be a major theme of this video because I've only seen the first episode. But isekai and something being meta and ironic doesn't make it good. Now, I can appreciate irony in this sort of a meta reading of stuff, and I have some positive things to say about Konosuba Episode 1. But sometimes, a lot of the times, in particularly as isekai, it leads into the whole, this is like trash, low-tier media, so we recognize that, and therefore, aren't we clever? And they're not. So just to kick it off, which is not a phrase I like to use, I just tried it out this one time. Konosuba is, I'll say this, it's definitely better than the rest. Of all the other isekai that I haven't watched, it's definitely the best among them, because at least because it doesn't take itself seriously at all, so it's not even, it completely throws out the whole, it's not serious. I mean, I could cut these, I don't do any editing, so I'm not even going to bother cutting out the last 20 seconds. This is just off the dome, as they say. But it's funny. It is supposed to be a comedy. I guess that definitely distinguishes it from the other isekai, is that it's only comedy. So it not taking itself seriously is a little bit of a credit in that regard. The only thing, of course, if you're interested in anime and look in anime circles anytime the past 5-6 years, I looked it up. It was 2016 when it premiered, the anime. You're going to hear about Konosuba. You're going to see the characters. People know Megumin. People know Aqua. Kazuma people like. They like these characters. They're funny. In the first episode, the only named characters you get are Kazuma and Aqua. So I haven't even gotten to Megumin or anything like that. But people people think they're actually funny characters. Actually, wait, I lied. I've just remembered. I've seen the movie. So this isn't even my first exposure to Konosuba. The first Konosuba I've seen was the movie last year, I think. And I liked it. I did like it. It was a funny movie. I thought it was alright. And I'll definitely say, I think, because this happens sometimes, a lot of times maybe the first episode isn't as strong. A lot of times if you have a bad first episode, it doesn't bode well for the rest of the series. But I wouldn't even say this was a bad episode, but I think Konosuba definitely hit its stride at a certain point. And the movie is far past that. It's at its best. I've only seen one episode other than the movie, so I don't know the peaks and valleys, but the movie was fine, and this first episode was okay. If I had to give a rank to the first episode, I'd say 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 maybe, something like that. Since, I have a 10-minute time limit, I'm already halfway through, 4 minutes through, that's 40%. It's pretty easy when you're working in tens, I guess. Still hate the metric system, though. Is you get this. It starts off, and I already knew how it begins, how Kazuma, our protagonist, dies. It's because he thinks he's going to sacrifice his life to save a girl, but she wasn't in any danger. He just got himself hurt, and he didn't even die to the being hit by a car, that's kind of the joke, haha, Truck-kun comes in isekai as a character, haha, so funny. A lot of that probably rose from Konosuba. That's another thing. One other thing is when I talk about meta, when you have these the trendsetters, when you have these sort of early isekai, which you could like isekai is actually an established form of media. Alice in Wonderland was an isekai, which isn't even true. Digimon was an isekai, not really true. It doesn't for me fulfill the sort of requirements of what I'd consider an isekai. That is being bad. Haha. But you have it's so he gets hit by a truck. What the point I'm saying is, so a lot of these things that become meta, which become self-referential, maybe when Konosuba was first written, when it first came out, not really as ubiquitous as they are now. But he throws his he gets himself killed in a meaningless way. There's no reason for him to die. He doesn't even get killed by the truck. He gets killed on the operating table because he urinated himself. He urinated all over himself when he was unconscious, and the doctors thought that was so funny. They laughed, and his family came to view his corpse, and they laughed too. So he's just meant to be it's right off the bat. It's very much meant to be a joke. He's not treated. He's not okay. And from what I can gather from Konosuba, is that all the characters are kind of a laughingstock. So it's not meta, but the main character is super awesome, cool. Like, look at me. I'm going to use my real world knowledge to do stuff. That's what I hate. Some of these isekai, where like there's one with the people like, oh, the girl who likes books and stuff, and people are like, this is actually a good isekai, but she taught them what broth was, as if this medieval European analog wouldn't know what broth was. Completely stupid. I hated it. I couldn't stand that stuff. Right off the bat, Cosmo is not a serious character. He's stupid. I don't know if he's stupid, but he's constantly taking a series of L's. He's whatever. He's down on his luck. They say that he has exceptionally good luck. I don't know. Another thing, hate the RPG elements. That's one of my main problems with this first episode that I'll really get into in the remaining 3.5 minutes or 2.5 minutes. Never good at counting. Just to breeze this along, Konosuba he gets killed. He's allowed to come to a new world, and for his like, oh, this is what sort of skill or item would you like to bring with you into this new world? He brings the chick who is giving him the option. Haha, she gets owned. She's very upset, and the point is basically, even though like she's angry at him right away, and they're both fighting, they're friends. They're pretty much immediately cool with one another, and that's fine. They're whatever. They make fun of each other, but I do like people say they like the characters and they like the relationship between the characters, and I could see that in the first episode. Absolutely. Cosmo and Aqua are funny characters. They're kind of like bickering siblings. I think is a interesting way to look at it. So the first episode is just them forget. The point is halfway through, they're like, yeah, we're going to become adventurers, going to defeat the Demon King, and Cosmo will get one. Aqua can return to the realm of the gods or whatever. Cosmo gets a wish. Maybe the implication is he can come back to life. I don't know. I don't know if they ever touch upon that later in the show or in the light novels or anything, but they're each promised something, or they each have something to go for, and then immediately kind of just forget the goal. They're just caught up in the mundane life of they work all day, drink all night, just having a gay old time, and that's pretty much as far. And then the episode ends with them resolving to actually do. They're like, oh yeah, we have something to do, and so they go and they're just about to set off to do it. And yeah, and the cram in this last, these last 40 seconds, I don't like the RPG elements. There's a point where Aqua is screeching at Cosmo because she didn't want to be in the world, and then halfway through it, like there's a start button. Doop, pause. Press start to play your game. Haha, so funny. It's like an RPG. Did you forget this was an RPG based thing? Haha, look at this funny reference. I hated it. Very stupid. It's like, oh, let me look at our stats. Oh, this is our quest card. I hate all those elements, and I hope if I ever continue the series, those are all played down. I don't know. Konosuba, okay.